Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. If you like what you see here, I have a new direct line email for questions about any product you might see here on Watchbox Reviews. It's Tim Mosso at thewatchbox.com. It's in the description. Drop me a line. Me and my crew are going to answer your specific questions about product availability, tech, spec, taste, and of course, if you want to purchase, we can hook you up. The timepiece on my wrist might be my favorite watch of 2018. The Nomos Autobahn Neomatik, 41mm in stainless steel. It's an all-around sports watch from Nomos of Glashutte, a small independent only founded in the 1990s. And fascinating, Nomos actively promotes its design collaborations, with industrial designer and architect Werner Eislinger being the star behind the Nomos Autobahn, and this is a wonderful auto-inspired sports watch. You guys know I love cars as much as I love watches, and the auto associations here run deep. We'll talk about them in a minute, but let's talk about the size. 41mm in stainless steel. The watch is also fairly thin and only 10.6mm thick, so though it's a sports watch, it's easy to wear under a cuff. From lug to lug, it's broad-shouldered but not huge. 49.8mm means, especially given the short cropped lugs, I can recommend this watch for a wrist as small as 14 centimeters circumference. The spacing between the lugs is 20mm, and the strap that's fit is an ultra-thin textile, not to be confused with a NATO. It's a conventional strap, so it's not underslung and it doesn't block your view of the case back. It is a buttery soft textile, so if you've gotten used to coarse textile NATO straps and tactical gear, well, you need to change your thinking and open your eyes, because this is a strap that's as soft as silk. Now, the buckle is a lovely Clevis-style counterweighted polished job that's common to Nomos watches, and you'll note that the bridge is elevated above the stanchions on the side, so as thin as the strap is, it actually sits in a recess inside the buckle so it doesn't stack up on your wrist. Again, Nomos is all about good design. And you can see there is a distinct break between the caseband and the lug, but it's not a sharp welded style break. That is, there is no visible seam. It's an organic curve. The lugs are strong, but they're also relatively short, so they make the most of their strident geometry and their tightly downturned profile. The first to be visual striking, and the second to be ergonomically superb. You can see that the stem and the stem tube have the case shrink wrapped around them, and the case is all of high polish, but you'll note when you view it from the front, the lugs and the bezel almost disappear, and there's almost a one-to-one relationship between the width of the crown, the width of the lugs, the width of the hour hand, I should say, and the width of the bezel, so there's a great deal of design symmetry here. The dial is quite simply extracted direct from the automotive world, and not just in the obvious ways. Yes, you could see that the lack of calibration between 4 o'clock and 8 o'clock is similar to a speedometer or a tachometer in a car, and there's a wonderful arc between them, as well as a radially arrayed set of Arabic numerals for the minutes as well as the hours that's evocative of automotive instrumentation. You'll also note that where you would conventionally find the odometer, you find an extended tri-date, and I'll also mention one of the fun features of this watch is its bidirectional quickset date that you can adjust in either direction. Now, okay, the automotive imagery is obvious, but if you look a little closer, it runs deeper. As you can see, there is a banking or a curvature to this concave dial profile, much like a bowl, and then it's recapped inside the sub-seconds. This is a reference to Monza in Italy, with its famous sopraelevata, the banking on the old Grand Prix circuit, as well as Brooklands in the UK, which has the same kind of vintage banking to help contain the cars in the era of wood-hard tires. And you'll also note a little bit of a resemblance to Indianapolis Motor Speedway in the United States, which is a similar vintage circuit from the first quarter of the 20th century. And it's worth noting that European makes that competed at Monza and Brooklands, like Maserati and Bentley, also competed at Indy in the pre-war years. Now, the dial features a lovely array of silver, orange, and blue, and you can see that it's a fairly straightforward watch to read, but you've got to love the disparity between the three different hands. They have nothing in common except their electrifying signal orange. The combination of silver, orange, and blue makes this a fun and I'd say light-hearted watch with a free-spirited ethos about its design. Now, there's also a stop seconds function in addition to the quickset date, courtesy of the new for 2018 Nomos caliber DUW6101. This movement was designed specifically for the Autobahn, and it is one of the Deutsche Uhrenwerke movements, meaning it is both a Nomos in-house caliber and it features their swing system. So the entire assortment, the balance, the blued hairspring, that's a signature of the Nomos swing system, as well as the escape wheel and the anchor, those are all made by Nomos proprietary tech that most brands do not have. You'll note that there's a full balance bridge for stability against shock. You have the stop seconds, bidirectional quickset date, 21.6 beat rate, 100 meter water resistance, all pivoting on 27 joules, and you can see there's a combination of stripes across the bridges, engine turning on the base plate, and fired blued screws. So you also have a few polished screws and a little bit of satination, a handsome movement that's designed properly for the size of its case. At 35.2 millimeters, the movement was clearly designed with the size of the canister in mind, and that's something you expect of a true manufacturer. Nomos does not disappoint. A watch that surprises and delights in almost every way. You continue to pick up other automotive and machine world references in the design the longer you're exposed to the watch. See it and start your journey on thewatchbox.com. Hit the road with the 42-hour power reserve of the Nomos Autobahn.